Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, for another week of the Max Potential Habits podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Amanda Barrientes, and today you're in for an awesome treat because we're going to talk about everything Instagram to grow your business. You all know, if you've been following me for a while, that Instagram is one of my absolute favorite social media platforms. And the reason for that is because when I was a kid, I used to have my wall covered with quote cards that I would hand write and hang up on my wall. And so when I found Instagram, I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like a really fun way to share quotes. And then when I started developing my business, I wanted to learn strategies to have Instagram be a way to build my business. So for those of you here for the first time, this is your place to learn tips, tools, and hear inspirational interviews from experts in a variety of industries to help you optimize your habits so that you can thrive in your business and in your life. And Instagram to me is a really cool place to connect, a place to grow your business, a place to develop your expert platform. There are so many ways to use it. And on the show today, we have a Instagram strategist for businesses. I've gotten to work with her, and she has taught me so many incredible tips and tricks for growing my Instagram platform organically. And she's just an incredible person. I actually met her a little more than a year ago at an event, and we hit it off. And then we just stayed in contact, and now she's on the show today because she is someone who you're going to want to learn tips from. You're probably going to want to connect with. She has all kinds of free and paid courses and ways that you can learn how to grow your business through Instagram. So let's welcome on the show, Ella Mae.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You are welcome. It's such a joy. How cool is this?
I know, right?
After you're all the way in Canada.
Academy, and I'm in Canada.
Yeah. So you're Canada, I'm Boulder. And yeah, when we met, I remember we were, at the time, you didn't have your Instagram business, but I think you were working with another company helping them with social media. Is that true?
So actually, when I first started, I started my entrepreneurial career as a copywriter.
Okay.
I was good at sales, I was good at writing, I put the two together, and a really great mentor. And I was, doing sales pages, email sequences, and I had great clients, I was good at it, and life was good. And it was probably about 6 months into working as a copywriter when I was kind of like, hey, what's the deal with this Instagram thing? How do these influencers get in front of so many people? Why are they so interesting? I was like, you know what? I want to figure this out. I want to become an influencer. So I never thought it would have anything to do with my business. It was very much just a personal project. And I just decided to learn it. I was just curious about it. So I holed up in my apartment for a weekend and watched about 200 YouTube videos, and I did everything they told me to do. I posted 3 times a day. I put the same color, the same filter thing on all my photos. I gave my page a theme, so I mainly talked about this one thing. And if anything, I lost followers. And that's when I realized, there's so much fluff out there when it comes to growing your Instagram. And I'm a marketer, right? I like data. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the drawing board and figure out what actually moves the needle with an Instagram account. And so I did. And without knowing it, I kind of uncovered this formula for how to grow an Instagram account. So my account grew organically in the first year from 1,100 to around 25,000 followers, which isn't massive, but more than anything, I was making a really good income off of it. I was modeling at the time, so I was getting booked for a whackload of photo shoots. I was working with really well-known brands doing influencer work. So my clients were like, hey, yeah, we want our sales page, but how did you do this Instagram thing? And I was like, well, I don't know. I sort of implemented this formula. It worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you. So without knowing it, I took on a bunch of beta accounts. And what I found was that whether it was a dog's account, a business, a girl, a guy's, whatever, this formula worked to grow any account despite any algorithm changes. So eventually my clients were like, okay, cool. We still want our copy stuff, but can you just run the Instagram? And I was like, well, I guess I'm already fine. I'm already doing it. I know what to do. So within 6 months, it made its way to the forefront of my business really organically. And that was really never the plan. But I think some of the biggest things in life happen without, when you never plan how you're going to meet your partner, or how you're going to end up living in a certain place, or whatever, they just sort of naturally creep in.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I really pay attention to now is I'm like, what am I curious about? You know, like what am I just interested in general? And I really keep that on my radar because a lot of the times those end up being some of the biggest, shifts in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this story. It's funny how many people I talk to, and I have a similar story in terms of becoming a business coach versus some other type of coach. Like I never set out to be a business coach. I thought I was going to do relationship coaching. And that, that was the track I thought I was on. And then as I started working with people, it just completely organically changed based on me working really hard to build my own business. I was like, oh, I want to teach people these tricks and tips that I've learned to get where I am. And it just unfolded really organically. That's interesting. So and I want to point something out for listeners, because I think because right now you have around 30K followers on Instagram. And I think, and you said that's not a huge amount, which may be dependent on who you're comparing yourself to, right? Like in the influencer industry, I look at that and I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of people, because I have built a ton of my business through Instagram, and I only have around 1,700 followers. Right. And you've helped me. It's been amazing because you've helped me get very strategic about how I engage with my people. And I haven't grown immensely, but my goal has been engagement and conversions, right? Like, okay, how am I going to actually monetize my Instagram instead of it only being about just like putting some pretty pictures out there, like monetizing. And I'm certain that the people listening are going to want to hear more of that. So share a little bit about that path. It's for you, it happened organically where you got to coach people on building their Instagram. What are some of the biggest tricks and tips for people who want to monetize their Instagram?
Great question. So when I first started doing this, I had people come to me who essentially just wanted to be popular. They wanted the numbers on Instagram and they wanted the social status. And what I realized was I really like, if you're someone who wants to be popular, you want the numbers, you want social status, good luck on your path. I am not the teacher for you. I really love working with aspiring entrepreneurs, established brands, businesses, whatever you want to call it, mainly because of this reason. If I want you to be able to add value to people, and that's the basis of how we're going to build your audience and also turn your Instagram into a lead generation machine. So especially right now on Instagram, growth is really slow. Organic reach is really being throttled. So what you really want to focus on is serving who you can serve really, really well using an open platform. Instagram's an open platform, meaning like I don't have to friend request you unless you're a private account. But I can find you from a hashtag. I don't need to friend request you to see your stuff. I can just come across you. And it's not weird if I don't know you and I follow you. Right? It's kind of different than Facebook where like, if I added you as a friend on Facebook and you had no idea who I was, we have no mutual friends. That's kind of like me like asking to be invited to your dinner party. We've never met. Like that's a lot, right? You're sort of like, I don't know who this is. And this is more of a private platform or whatever. So like with what you were saying with really monetizing it, what you really want to focus on and what I encourage all my clients to focus on is not how fast you're growing, and to be honest, not even necessarily your engagement, because that can go up and down based on posts, but how many conversations are you having with your followers? Are you engaging with them? And are you bringing them over to are they interested? Are they going over to a platform that's more appropriate to sell or to connect with them, like LinkedIn, like your opt-in, like bringing them onto a call, like whatever. And so that's really the main thing that we focus on. And in the meantime, they totally grow because I teach you the strategies for growth. So you'll grow, but I don't really care if you're growing by 10 followers a week. I want this account to have a rate of return on it. If I'm going to put time and energy into something, I want to see a rate of return on that. That's just the way that I work. And also you have the ability, the beautiful thing about Instagram is that you have this wide reach. So you have the ability to help so many more people that otherwise just wouldn't know you existed.
I love this. Yeah, really useful. Okay, so let's talk about the difference in your mind between engagement and conversations.
Good question. Yeah. So with engagement, if you're not sure what engagement is basically where they take the amount of your followers and they divide that by the amount of likes, comments, whatever on your post, and then it gives you a percentage. So there's a whole, if you Google Instagram engagement calculators, there's a whole bunch on the internet. Some of them take your all of your posts. Some of them take the last 9. It's a little bit, you'll see different numbers from different calculators. With engagement, because you see different numbers based on the amount of posts, or maybe you posted at a time when your followers weren't, online or whatever, that can go up and down. This is actually where, just to do a little sidetrack to this is actually where the people, when I have clients who really want a pretty grid, they want their grid to look really good and really pretty, and they're really attached to that. This can really, really hurt you engagement-wise. Because what happens when you first post, Instagram is going to release it, going to show it essentially to your most loyal followers. These are the guys that always like, always comment, usually always engage with you. If those guys like and comment, the algorithm will be like, hey, cool, this is something people want to see. They're spending time on it. We're going to show it to the next wave, to the next wave, to the next wave. And if it goes really well, you have a chance to show up on the Explore page, right? Which is the only way to go viral on Instagram. When you have a pretty grid, or you're very attached to basically almost all your photos look the same, except there's a different object in the exact same layout, or a different person or whatever. What happens is a lot of the time you post, it's going to release it to your loyal followers. Your loyal followers scroll right past it because they've seen this from you before. They don't really have any reason to stop and look at it, or read the caption, or watch the video, or swipe through photos. So the algorithm's like, hey, nobody's engaging, nobody's even spending time on this post. This is not something people want to see. We're not going to show this to as many people, because it's going to get people, Instagram's whole goal is to keep people on the app longer, right? So if they don't engage with it, we're not going to show this to as many people. So it's actually a really good, when you're trying to reach your audience in an impactful way, it's a really good idea to switch up your posts, do different color schemes, do ones do videos, do swipe through photos, do things where it could make it interesting for people to spend time on that post. So having said that, so engagement can go up and down. And again, engagement, I've had clients that check their engagement every day, and I'm like, look, it's kind of like for women, it's kind of like weighing yourself every day. It can throw you off because you fluctuate. I was like, I'd much rather you check your engagement once every 2 weeks or once every month, because then you'll see actual metrics. And if it's consistently going down, then we have some work to do. But if it's just based on the day, or that what you posted that day, or whatever, then that can be not 100% accurate. So when it comes to, engagement can go up and down. Of course, the more engagement you have, the better. But again, I work with people who their goal is not to be influencers. It's to build their business, build their personal brand, and essentially reach and help more people. So when it comes to that, what you want to be doing more than anything is engaging with those guys and using DMs for that. DMs are such a secret weapon to be able to engage with your audience. The reason for that is so we can all relate to this. Every skincare clinic in the world, what's the come in for your free consultation, right? How have you ever gone in for a free consultation to a skincare clinic with no intention of buying anything? You're just like, hey, tell me about my skin. Have you ever done that?
No, I haven't.
No. Why?
I mean, it's just so fast. It's such an interesting question. I mean, I think for me, it's because there's so many of them. Why would I choose a particular one? I don't even know the person, or whatever the company is that's reaching out to me. So be like, it seems too fast, too soon, too much.
It's intimidating.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I'm coming into your playground.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel pressure to do something because maybe I don't know what you're going to tell me with what would be best for my skin. And also, it's just not a very comfortable or safe place to make a decision. I know I'm going to be pressured one way or another, right? And so so this is, for example, that's more of I'm actually going somewhere. But even a contact me form on a website or something, let's say I was looking into coaching and I never had a coach before. If I fill out your contact me form and you give me 15 minutes of your time, I'm not really going to know what questions to ask. I'm not really going to know what my price range should be. I don't know this stuff, right? So that's a really intimidating process for me to go through just to learn about your services. The reason I'm saying this is because DMs is this really cool way to essentially go through a contact me form with your potential clients, and you're able to vet them as well to see if there's somebody that you could work with and really help. So one thing I highly recommend all of your listeners to do is when you get a new follower, what you want to do is you want to DM them. However, you do not want to DM them a novel saying, hi, at so-and-so, thanks for following me. If you don't know, I just posted a new YouTube video with my link to your 100K roadmap. Check out the link here. We've all gotten those DMs where they're kind of, whether the person wrote them themselves or was a bot, they're spammy. I don't know you. I'm not on Instagram to be sold to. I like that person so much less now that you sent me that. When you're connecting with your new followers, what you want to do is DM them and say, this is the best new follower DM. We've tested this over 2 years. It converts the highest. Hey, exclamation point, thanks for the follow. Happy face emoji. Hey, thanks for connecting. Hey, thanks for showing up. I'm glad you showed up on my feed. I love that. You can make it as personal as you want, but here's the thing. It has to be personal. It has to be short. And it has to be warm. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm just thanking you.